Was he the reason why you was selling drugs and stuff like that?
No.
Or how did you get into that?
I was the reason why he was.
Okay, so tell me about that.
I mean.
Hold on now, where are these emotions coming from?
Because like being here, it's hard. It's hard when you're used to a certain way of living.
It's kind of rough, man. Like your dad's crippled, and your mom passed when you was 1 day old. Have you ever just processed that and really kind of try to understand, I guess, how it makes you feel and maybe what effect this had on you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Every kid wants their parents. I've always used to wonder, like, why me? Why was I put here without a mom?
What's up, YouTube? Man, it looks like things are heating up for summer 23. So stay tapped in. Now back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady with us today. How you doing today, miss?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's a beautiful day out here. It was raining earlier, but now it's
hot
sunshine.
out here.
It is always hot. It's definitely hot Atlanta. All right, so are you homeless?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, what's your situation?
Staying with family. Just came back from North Carolina. Pretty much lost everything. My house, land, cars, and everything. So right now, just trying to get it together.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
How'd you lose all that stuff?
Just was doing things I didn't have any business, selling drugs and stuff. And I was married at the time. And yeah, we just basically got caught up and had to come back to family.
Okay. When you got caught up, did you have to do any jail time or anything like that?
No, fortunately I did not. I decided to leave my situation at the time and come back to family because I just felt like something was wrong. And within 2 months, everything just kind of everything just happened. So I'm thankful that I had the mindset to get out. Yeah. But yeah, that's
so. Okay, how long ago did this happen?
Last October.
Last October?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been down here ever since then?
Yep.
Okay. So are you still legally married?
No.
No? Okay. Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have one little girl, 8 years old. I've always homeschooled her prior to coming here. This is her first year in actual school. It's a transition for the both of us.
Oh wow. Okay. So even last semester, what about last semester, the spring semester last year, when you was already here? Was you still homeschooling? No, I still was
trying to homeschool her.
Okay.
I was doing the best that I can, but right now I really have to
focus on
get back
getting
into
your stuff.
To be an actual citizen.
I get it. Okay, so we're gonna dive in all that. And you say that you was married. How long ago did you get divorced?
It has been almost 4 months now.
Okay, so it's just recently the divorce went through.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna tap into all that, but let's just, okay, so first and foremost, let's figure out what happened, right? So, okay, so you say that you left a couple months before things hit the fan?
Yeah.
Okay, and so how long had y'all, so first of all, how old were you when you got married?
I was, 22?
22?
Yeah.
Okay, and so how long had y'all been dating up to that point?
A year.
A year, okay. So you dated for a year, and how is he around the same age or?
Yeah.
Okay, so around the same age. So y'all dated for a year, young couple, and then you decided to get married. And so it sounds like you already had the child at that point.
Yeah.
And he's the father of the child?
No, he's not.
Okay, so
he just stepped in.
So he stepped in when she was like 1 or something, right? Okay, so he stepped in. All right, as far as the biological dad, was he active and present in his daughter's life or not so much?
He's very inconsistent, but he does what he can, so I'll give him that.
Okay, I get it. Is he around the same age or is he older?
He's older than me. Yes.
How much older?
Only like 6 years.
Okay. All right, and so you guys was doing your thing, and I guess, what type of drugs were you selling?
Anything you can imagine, making pills, everything.
Okay, so you was doing your thing, a whole drug shop basically. And so were y'all doing it out the house, or were you kind of riding around doing it, or did you have spots, or how did your business work?
For me, riding around, yes.
Okay, and so at the height of it, right, how much money would you say you was making on any given month?
We were making about, I would say about 3,000 to 4,000 a week.
Okay, so making pretty decent money, right? And so, I mean, you guys' relationship, it was good, I'm imagining. You guys had money, everything else?
Yeah, everything was pretty much good. I mean, it's just I started to feel you know, my overall goal is to be in med school, and so I wanted to just get back focused in going to school and, you know, doing what I needed to do, and just things started to feel weird. Once I started focusing more on school, my daughter and her education, I started to notice things that I was blind to prior.
Like what?
Just certain movements, certain people that would come around, certain things, like, you know, you just have that premonition, like something's not right here.
Well, right. I'm trying to understand, what was it that you saw, heard, or whatever that.
It was movements. It was like certain things, like he was talking to people that I had never met before, or that, you know, he was meeting up with people that, you know, I'd never seen before, and so the energy just became kind of weird. It came super, super weird.
Between you guys, or just
between us and just at the house in general. And so the more I would try to communicate with him about it, he would kind of like shut me down or not really, you know, talk to me about it. And because we moved from here to North Carolina to be with him, I was very hesitant. I was very hesitant about staying there because I did not have family there.
Right.
So when we couldn't continue, like he wouldn't tell me what was going on, we couldn't communicate, I had no choice but to leave, because when it came to actually having physical support, I did not have that there. So that's kind of what happened. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything horrible between us. It just did not feel right.
It just deteriorated, and the energy felt bad, and so you got on. And so how did you find, I mean, what happened? Like, you say things went left a couple months after that? What exactly happened? Did he get, you know, he get busted?
He ended up getting busted. He was you know, it was a situation with undercovers, and they ended up like seizing our land and taking everything for evidence, basically.
Did they charge you?
No, they did not, because I had already left. I had already left Georgia. Excuse me, I had already left North Carolina, and they started the investigation. I left in May. They started the investigation in July, so I was already gone.
Okay. And so, what part of North Carolina, by the way?
Greensboro.
Okay. And so, was he the reason why you was selling drugs and stuff like that?
No.
Or how did you get into that?
I was the reason why he was.
Okay. So tell me about that.
I mean, you know, I grew up that way. I grew up, and so whatever he needed to know, I pretty much taught him. But
okay, so pause that right there. So okay, let's just start from the beginning.
Gotcha.
So, where you from?
From Louisiana.
You from Louisiana? Yeah. What part?
New Orleans.
Oh man, hey man, shout out that big New Orleans, man, the Big Easy. That is one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. I love New Orleans. And they know this on this channel, so I love New Orleans. I got a whole series of interviews out there as well.
Yeah.
All right, so growing up in New Orleans, man, shout out to New Orleans. Growing up in New Orleans, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
My mom died when I was a day old.
Wow.
That's actually what I'm doing now. I'm trying to get because they took everything when they seized everything for evidence, all of my file cabinets and stuff. And so my birth certificate, Social Security was there. But being that I don't have parents here, I kind of just have to scramble, try to get, you know, my identification. But yeah, my mom passed when I was a day old, and my dad just was never really active.
So who'd you grow up with?
My grandmother.
Mom's mom or dad's mom?
My mom's mom and my dad's side of the family.
Okay. And so, I mean, you know, growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
No. I mean, I was selling drugs at 10 years old. It was not normal at all. It was nothing normal about it. No.
So you were selling drugs at 10 years old? And so, I mean, who was the kind of the mastermind of the whole situation? Because was it your grandma? Was it like, you know?
You know, it's a product of your environment. You know, you be in certain situations for so long, and especially young, especially coming from there, grew up quickly. And being here too, I was always back and forth. And it just makes you want to, you know, well, for me, it made me want more. And being around people that did that, I just, you know, I latched on.
So who was it that put you into the game?
Nobody really put me into the game. I started selling my stuff. I started buying. I see people like sell weed and stuff, so I would start buying weed. I would start, you know, buying coke and stuff from people and just selling it. And then I slowly learned how to cook. I ended up dating someone when I was 15, and he showed me how to start cooking dope, and just kind of went from there. I was a product of my environment.
She's like a low-key, kind of like a little queen pin almost, like a little bit. Definitely like a little pusher that you maybe wouldn't expect, you know?
No. Yeah. Yeah. That's
okay.
But yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do with life now.
I get it.
I didn't have, you know, that mom and that, you know, that grow up with that, what is it, that guidance.
That structure, so, right. I get that.
For my daughter, you know, like I'm homeschooling her, and I'm trying so hard to just to get out of that mindset. But it's definitely way easier said than done. But yeah, that's not where I'm going now. That's not what I'm trying to do now.
Well, hold on now. Where are these emotions coming from?
Because like being here, it's hard. It's hard when you're used to a certain way of living. And I just don't want my daughter to go through the things I went through. Like, you know, I grew up super fast, and like in that lifestyle, you know, people take advantage of you. People take advantage of you. And
well, I was just about to ask. I mean, did anything ever happen to you when you were younger?
Yeah, people take advantage of you. They, you know, and when you're in that light, it makes you feel as if, you know, I don't know, like it's a, how can I say, it's a crazy cycle. Not growing up with that influence of where you look for attention and where you look for family. It can lead you in a lot of messed up places, and that's what happened for me. And so I don't want that for my daughter, and so I'm trying so hard right now to just change our situation, because she doesn't deserve, you know, this at all. But yeah, so I don't glorify what I did.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it. I had to do.
Well, I mean, so you know, you brought it up. I'm gonna ask, right? Again, did anything ever like happen to you when you was younger? Any type of assault?
Oh yeah, I was in an abusive relationship at 15 with someone that was 11 years older than me. I was molested when I was a kid. Just all type of things that I just shouldn't have been into.
What age did the molestation happen?
I was 9.
And so, what was it that happened?
It was a cousin. He was touching me, you know, and and the more I like spoke about it and brought it up, the more my family made me feel as if I was doing something wrong. It's like it's supposed to be kept in the family. It's not supposed to be talked about. And
was this something that happened more than once, or was it like a one-time thing?
It was a one-time thing in that incident, but it was more than once as far as like the touching and stuff.
So you say it was one time as far as so you say touching this. What was the one-time thing?
Like actual physical like penetration.
So he actually penetrated you?
Mm-hmm.
And that was at 9?
Mm-hmm.
How old was he?
13, 14.
And so, who did you tell?
I told a teacher, guidance counselor. I was crying in school, and they pulled me to the front office, and guidance counselor, I ended up, you know, telling her. And so she brought me home. Well, she had the police officers bring me home, and from there it was just like my family, they would, interrogate me. Like everybody would come to the house and, are you sure this is what happened? Are you sure? Because you're gonna get him in a lot of trouble. And I honestly felt bad for saying anything, because I wasn't allowed around my cousins, and I don't know, I felt at that age they made me feel as if it was my fault.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel alone. It made me feel unprotected, which is something I never want for my daughter. It's something I never want for my daughter, but I felt unprotected. I felt alone. I felt like it was something that I did wrong. And I just wanted to be around, because they kept me away from my cousins and stuff like that. And I just wanted to be a kid. I wanted to play. I wanted to have fun. And I didn't understand exactly what I did wrong. It just made me feel like I shouldn't have said anything.
And so, as you've gotten older now, have you ever been able to talk to any of your family about that?
No. I mean, I kind of dealt with it myself, that like I've never, you know, I just never brought it up, you know, as I got older.
So you didn't really deal with it, you just buried it, basically?
Somewhat, yeah.
So, I mean, have you talked to that cousin since then, like in your adulthood? No?
No? Not at all.
Well, I mean, so one of the things that we do on this channel is we have conversations with people when they're not right in front of us. Because this channel has a little bit of reach, so it's a possibility that your family may see this, and it seems like there are some unresolved feelings there, and some feelings that you basically, you know, haven't dealt with, right? If there was any message that you wanted to give your cousin or any parts of your family, you know, they're watching this right now. Take your time and you know, what message do you have for him?
I'm not going to allow that trauma or the lack of guidance and the lack of having a actual solid foundation and support stop me from creating the family that I wish that I had. I'm not going to allow that to stop, because right now I am who I wanted when I was a kid. You know, that's what I dedicated myself, tried to be for my daughter.
Who you wanted? That mom
who
figure.
I wish was there to protect me then. I'm not going to allow that to define me.
Well, and I get that, right? But is there anything that you just need to tell him? I mean, how did that make you feel? Does he know how that made you feel?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't have, I mean, it doesn't, the only thing that would make me feel, you know, is, you know, I just hope he's not doing that to his own kids. He has kids now. He has girls now.
Did he ever apologize to you for that?
And I don't, honestly, there's nothing that he could say to, you know, to make me feel better. There's nothing anybody in that family can do to, like, you know, because it happened and I dealt with it.
Whoever the authority figures, the, you know, grandma or uncles, whoever was in charge at that time that, you know, made you feel unprotected and, you know, kind of unloved by not really believing and kind of backing you. Do you have any message for them?
I don't. Because I mean, there's nothing they could say or do to take back not being there then.
What effect do you think that had on you? Like,
it made me super guarded. It made me super guarded. I wasn't, you know, I have detachment issues. And I'm very, very protective over my daughter. But at the same time, it made me the woman that I am. Like, it made me want to be more loving, more caring, wants to be that protector for all kids that surround me. Like, I'm like, everybody's
looking to protect. Yeah, I get it. Hold 1 second. And so, real quick interruption. So, do we think that because, you know, we found ourselves, you said, in an abusive relationship a few years after that with an older guy, right?
Oh yeah, it makes you, you know, for a lot of women, it makes you look for that protection or that father figure or that family. And definitely, it put me in a position where I trusted, you know, I was more trusting than I should have been. I was, you know, just looking for love in all of the wrong places. It definitely put me in, it made my, I'm not even gonna say that particular incident, but it definitely, it makes you, you know, a lot less guarded and more so looking for attention, looking for that love and that affection that I didn't receive as a kid.
And that guy is the father of your child? No, okay, so that's not the father. Okay. So what are we doing at this point to get ourselves out of this position of you know, instability and, you know, pretty much homelessness, right?
Right now, I am on the way to try to get my driver's license, of course, like my ID. I'm looking for jobs, trying to get a car. Right now I'm living with family. Once I get, living in family, like,
what family? Something like cousins or like stuff like that?
Well, really just back and forth. I was staying in a hotel for a long time and kind of ran out of savings. So I went back to living with my grandma. And just right now, like, I just put my daughter in school.
And that's here in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just put my daughter in school. You know, I'm just trying to get things back together.
Is this the same grandma that kind of like kept you away from your cousin and stuff like that? So, I mean, if she would happen to come across this video on YouTube, what do you think her thoughts and her reactions are going to be?
I mean, I don't think it would be, I don't think it's something that she doesn't know. Like, I'm very vocal, I'm very open. You know, we've had talks about certain things, but I mean... Have y'all
had talks about that specifically?
Not directly in particular, like, you know, this is what, but I've told her.
Would you like to have a talk with her about that?
No. I just don't see it changing much.
So you may not see, because you fear that it's not going to change anything, doesn't mean that you don't actually want that. So in other words, you just don't want to be disappointed if it doesn't work.
Yeah, so...
Well, but so then that's different than just saying that you don't want it, right? We got to learn how to be able to really process and understand our feelings. It sounds like you do want it. You just are scared that it's not going to work. She's not going to take it. You've tried to have some of these maybe talks before and it didn't go well, whatever. But if you knew that the outcome was going to be that she would actually hear you for the first time, sometimes it takes them hearing a stranger talk to you and have this conversation for them to really hear it for the first time. So I'm saying is that if you knew that the outcome was going to be positive, would you want to have that talk with her and get all that stuff unrooted and hashed out?
I mean, possibly. I just don't. I don't know. I kind of detached from those situations.
And what about your dad? What's his deal? Like, is he active and present in your life at all? Or? Never was?
No, he wasn't. I mean, he's been around, like, when I got older, around 17 and stuff like that. But he's crippled. He's been disabled my whole life, so he can't actually. I mean, he's not mentally stable enough
to be able to take care of you and things like that. Man, I tell you, it's kind of rough, man. Like, your dad's crippled and your mom passed when you was 1 day old. Have you ever just processed that and really kind of try to understand, I guess, how it makes you feel and maybe what effect this had on you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Every kid wants their parents. I've always used to wonder, like, why me? Why was I put here without a mom? Especially when you're younger and you would see your friends with their mom and their dad, and they would come pick them up from school, and they'd be like, what was different about me? So for a long time, I felt like something was wrong with me. Like I wasn't deserving of that kind of love. And so yeah, as I grew older, it just made me want to put that more love into my child. But yeah, I struggled with it for a long time, understanding self.
Have you ever got to sit down with a professional and kind of talk a lot of this stuff through?
Yeah. I used to have to do therapy and stuff when I was a kid.
Okay. All right, Miss. Well, listen, we really appreciate you taking the time, answering all of our questions. If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way that they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
I do have a Cash App. It is Queen Code, KWEENCODE 777. My name on there is Lanola Fire. I have a Facebook, no Instagram. Facebook is Lanola Olurunife. It's Lanola LANOLA Olu OLORUNIFE Olurunife.
Okay, all right. Well, like I say, we really appreciate you and definitely wish you nothing but the best out here. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.